So, autoland kind of defeats the objective of a flight simulator, but we'll go with it. It's a good idea. It works. So, like it says on the book, it literally lands plane for you. At the moment, the 737 BBJ, the A320 series are the only planes with it on. Off the top of my head, I'm sure that's right. So it's just the A3, 18, 19, 20, 21, and the 737 BBJ, which only have this feature at the moment. It will be added to more planes in the near future, I'm sure. So there are certain limitations to using the autoland. As you can see on the screen in front of you now, you can take a screenshot of it, pause it, whatever. Winds, there are certain wind limitations. The localizer maximum degrees, 45 degree either side. We've got interception, so we're not allowed to intercept it anything out of that 45 degrees. You have to have everything done by 5 nautical miles away from the airport. So you have to have your flaps, your gears, your spoilers, your speed, everything done before you get to the airport within 5 nautical miles. Maximum speed is 200 knots, so it won't let you apply auto land when you're above 200 knots. You do need spoilers on. And the system, the plane won't, once it's on the ground, that's it. It's your responsibility to make sure it lines up. Go through what other things there is. So I forgot that I had that on screenshot. I thought that on web browser. So basically, there's two types of approach. You've got ILS and GPS. ILS, which I'll show you in the video in a second. ILS basically, as you can see, it would do the approach for you, so it would guarantee that you land safely. Whereas the GPS approach, where it hasn't got the ILS on it, it basically, as it says in front of us now, it just means that it can't guarantee that we're not going to hit any terrain. So ILS means you can just sit there and do nothing, essentially, once it's landing in. GPS, you have to look out for terrain and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go on to, I'm already lined up, of course, if you've watched the videos by now, you'll realise that the A320 EasyJet at Southend is my favourite combination. So today I am in an EasyJet A320 taking approach to Southend. So let's go resume that. So I'm just entering, I'm going to line up here. First of all, I'm going to choose my ILS. So if I hold on to this, hold on to that, I'm going to click ILS 2040 GMC. So that's how you can tell it's ILS or it says GPS. So ILS, I've clicked the wrong one. ILS 24 EGMC. So I'm now lined up. I'm going to be within 45 degrees of the ILS. As you can see on my map, I'm entering it head straight in. Now I'm at about 3,500 feet. I'm going to slow my descent. I was just coming in to line up prior. And I'm below 200 knots. I'm at 180 at the moment. And you'll see here, I'm 11.3 nautical miles away from the airport. So just to recap what I've done there, as I've approached the airport that I'm in. Let's get my approach the airport I'm landing at. I've selected the runway and the airport that I'm landing at on my button here. And now I'm getting my speed down, so I'm going to get my speed down to landing speed. I'm going to go 134 knots on this one. I'm going to press the approach button now. So now that should lock in there. It's going to do some slight adjustments whilst it locks in. At the moment I'm not controlling anything, I'm just keeping my iPad steady. So I'm 8.8 miles away, so I've got 3.5 miles to finalise my speed and so on and so forth. So my speed is 144 knots, so I can let that slow itself down. I'm going to put some gears on. I'm going to get full flap. I'm going to get 3 flaps at the moment. I'm not going to require any trim, and I'm going to set my, and it's going to go into stall. I'll let it do itself. It'll fix that. I'm going to get my spoilers armed. I'm assuming it went into stall because I put the gears down as it was losing speed. So, still got 2.4 miles away to get stabilised. Now you can see I'm literally not doing anything on the iPad's dealing with it all. So I want to get my speed down. The speed's got to be below 200 knots. Good landing speed is roughly about the speed I'm at. Once you press approach, the APR button, you don't control the heading, the descent rate. You need to make sure you get your spoilers armed, your gears down, your flaps, before you get from 5 nautical miles. You can see on my map here and there that I'm 5.6 nautical miles. So now it's literally a case of me doing nothing. I can just sit here and just chill out, really. It's pretty cool. It kind of defeats the object of autoland, of a flight simulator, but nonetheless it's handy for well, when you're just doing nothing really and you're watching TV, I guess. Or so I'll just go through the limitations of the autoland whilst it's doing its magic. Got 4.5 miles left. So I've got 15 knots of crosswind are allowed, 30 knots of headwind, and 5 knots of tailwind. Anything out of that, it will struggle to land. Maximum airport altitude of 5,000 feet. So I'm assuming that's the airport height itself. So, like we mentioned with the intercept, we've got the intercept, the localizer within 45 degrees either side. Your landing configuration's got to be set by 5 nautical miles, which we have done there. 200 knots max speed, again, which we've done that. Spoilers armed, yep, we've done that. The system's really designed for full stop landing, so it kind of stops itself really. It will apply the brakes for when it comes to landing as well. Terrain avoidance is our responsibility as a pilot, so we can't rely on the plane to do it itself. Some airports it will not work at, so standard ILS approach is only 3 degrees slope max. So London will not do it at London basically because of all the buildings and so on and so forth. The glide scope is more than 3 degrees. So we're almost at landing now. If I put the volume up here, the call outs. Again, I've literally not touched anything. I've literally been looking at a piece of paper I've got down to me. So I'm still not doing anything. Left it all to itself. It will apply the brakes for itself. I'm not going to do anything with those. It'll flare itself. Okay, so I'm going to put myself back on there. It went a little bit wobbly there, so I'm going to stabilise that back into position. I'm going to use some thrust. So I've got to use the thrust myself, the reverse thrust. The brakes it applies itself for her. Oh, will I? Okay. And then I'll watch that back. So it's just moments before landing. Let's watch the landing, how it goes. Like I say, it will flare itself. It's quite good like that. See if it's a smooth one. It's looking good. Oh, beautiful. Fit for the Queen. And that's autoland. To be honest, it does thus that it's slightly off the centre line there. It's actually the first time I've had that. Normally it's perfectly bang on, but either way, it's a good land. Cool. So if you've got any questions, let us know in the comments, and I will reply to those. Yeah. What I'll do is whilst got it here, I can go back to the limitations. You can take a screenshot or pause the video from here. Cool. Okay, thanks. How do I get out of this?